Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning,
Yeah,
sir.
Good
morning.
morning, sir.
Yes, ma'am. See, I just wanted to make sure whether my screen is visible and I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's fine. So I've started recording. I think in the last class we discussed about the mark split-ups, the modalities of this course, and we have also discussed about the artificial intelligence. We discussed on the difference between hard and soft computing, and in general we discussed about neural networks, fuzzy control, and genetical algorithm and their integrations. Today we'll be directly going to our unit 1. So unit 1 is nothing but introduction to artificial neural networks. The content as already discussed, we'll be discussing on artificial neural network, biological motivations, the difference between ANN and BNN, where the various terminologies, models of neurons, topology, and the characteristics of artificial neural networks with the type of activation function. And then we'll be directly going to the algorithms. Here we have Mekulopids, Hebbian, Perceptron, Adeline, Madeline. As I said, we have 5 different algorithms. Though Mekulopids is not there in our syllabus, it is obsolete, but still we'll be discussing to know the basic things of a neural network. So we have totally 5 different algorithms. Today we'll be discussing about ANN, BNN, its motivations, the difference between ANN with the BNN, the models of neurons. In the next class, we'll be discussing the characteristics. After them, Mekulopids and Hebbian, then Perceptron, Adeline, Madeline. So this is how our first unit I plan to like yeah. The content of today's topic is the history of artificial neural networks, then how our brain works, how artificial neural network works, what is the difference between BNN versus ANN. BNN here in the sense biological neural network, that is our brain. ANN in the sense artificial neural network, that is our system which we are going, the algorithms which we are going to do, and where these artificial neural networks are being used. So these are the various contents we'll be discussing in today's class. Coming to the history, though, see, we should be knowing the first about the history before doing any or before learning any new things. So that's the reason I have framed the history of artificial neural network. We'll be thinking that it is only ANN has come only 20 years before or 2-3 decades before, but actually it starts from 1940 itself, where the first electronic computer has started. From that
Sir,
day onwards, yeah.
sorry to interrupt you, but my one of my friend is not added in this meeting.
But now, what's his name?
Jasmine.
Number, please. No, but
Uh,
still now I cannot do it. I will do it. What's his number?
19 BEE 0273.
273. I think today I have added one more 88 or something. Uh, I would have. He can come in the next class. After this class,
Okay,
I will do it.
okay.
Okay. So just inform him about the situation. Okay, so coming to the history of artificial neural network, as I was saying, it's as I was telling, it started from the day of first electronic computer, that is 1940. After then, before 57, there is a discoverer, or there is a scientist named as Mekulopids. He has discovered a neuron called Mekulopid neuron, where as of now it is obsolete, but it that clearly gives you the principle of neural networks. After then, in 1957, Rosenblatt has introduced a neural network called perceptron. After then, by 60, see, perceptron is a single layer neural network. We'll be understanding in the due courses about single layer and multiple layer, but still, as of now, you just understand that perceptron is a single layer neural network. The after then, they have also formed formed multi-layer perceptron in 1960, and in 74 backpropagation algorithm has been discovered by Verbose. That is a three-layered perceptron, but now we have n number of layers can be added. But though it is a three-layered algorithm, this is the backbone of neural networks. Till today, there are so many real-time applications which works under this algorithm called backpropagation algorithm. Then in 86, the another form of MLP was also discovered by Rummel, Hart, and McClelland. And in 82, Hopfield has discovered Hopfield neural network. After then, there are so many versions of neural networks is happening. Hopfield, as I was telling, Hopfield neural network was added with the concept called Boltzmann machine concept. That is also there in our course. We'll be discussing Boltzmann machine in Hopfield neural network. Then in 88, radial basis function, which was introduced by Broomhead and Law, was discovered. After then in 82, it's a self-organization mapping techniques was done, which was done by Kohonen. So with his name, it was said as Kohanen's self-organization mapping technique. It's just a mapping technique. We'll be discussing this also. And we have in 72, linear vector quantization was been discovered by Kohanens. The same Kohanen, he has also discovered linear learning vector quantization in 72. So this is about the history. Since then, research on artificial neural network has remained active, leading to many neural networks. And as I was telling in the first class, the hybrid algorithms and hardware for neural information processing has been discovered. It's not just the artificial neural network alone or fuzzy alone or genetic alone, a genetic algorithm. It's a combination of neural network with fuzzy and neural network with genetic algorithm has been taking place. That is this is the history of neural networks. Coming to our brain, how our brain works. I think we all know about our brain. In our biology we would have studied much about brain working principle of a brain. So the brain works like a massive parallel information processing system. So it's a processing system. It's not just one or two. It massively takes the information, and it also does in a parallel way. That's the reason we used to tell it as a massively parallel information processing system. And this is a huge network processing element that which has a typical brain has a network of 10 billion neurons. The simplest part of our brain is nothing but the neuron, where we have 10 billions of neurons. So this is how this slide shows you how our brain works. There are two kind of tasks. One is a formalizable task, and the other one is informalizable task. Ill formalizing task. So what do you mean by formalizable task? So this is how our brain works. Whether it may be a sound or a pattern recognition, it can make some decisions, and we can pull some knowledge. We can discover some knowledge using our brain, and it's all depend on context dependent analysis. All our analysis is depends upon the context. So it means that already we would have seen somewhere, seen something, or known information. With that context, our brain analyzes and comes to a conclusion. That is what the decision making has been done. So I think even nowadays, all our kindergarten students, you might be knowing there is a new way of technique called a Montessori way of education, where all the symbols, instead of showing the numbers, or instead of showing in terms of written, they used to show it as a patterns. That is what we have shown here. It is very simple for our brain. Instead of writing a lion goes, if you show the pictorial representation, it will be easy for our brain to recognize. You can say donkey sits, shark swims, or tortoise crawls. So all these things can be very easily recognized. The patterns can be recognized easily by our brain, rather than writing something and doing something. So this is called conventional way. All our symbol manipulations is all the conventional way, which our brain doesn't use it. That's the reason I was telling you about the Montessori way of education. Our school students itself, they have changed it to the next level called pattern recognition. So this is the difference you have with the human brain with that of the traditional computer. So symbol manipulations is nothing but our traditional computer. You have some set of rules and regulations, whereas human brain is nothing but it recognizes patterns. So this two things tell you the difference, tells the difference between human brain with that of the traditional computer. The next slide shows you the principles of brain processing. As I was telling, you have a massive parallelism. You it get you are, say for example, if you I see something, you will be for each and every resolutions you will be getting so neurons, you will be getting so much of information. So all these neurons are massively taken. All these informations are massively, a large number of huge data has been taken, and it parallelly all the informations has been processed. So the simplest processing element, which we call it as neurons. So this is what the massive parallelism. After then we have connectionism. All these informations are connected and they are kept in an associative distributed memory. So this is what our brain processing. You take all the input, process it, connect it with the previous context, and put it in a place, appropriate place. This is the associative distributed memory. So this is how our brain process. As I was telling, the simplest element is nothing but the biological neuron. You can see the neuron here. The human brain contains 10 power 10 or 10 billions of neurons, and we have 10 power 15 interconnections. One neuron is connected with the other neuron, so that is said to be interconnections. We have 10 power 15 interconnections are there. So this is how our brain works. The next thing is the elements which have. What are the elements you have in our brains? The first element, as we all know, in general, I just wanted to discuss with the computer. I wanted to correlate with our computer. In a computer, we always used to say input, processing, output. Very simply, in a neuron, we have an input. The name of the input is nothing but dendrites. You can see the dendrites. And the name of the processor is nothing but the cell body. And name of the output is nothing but axon. One output is connected with another neuron. So the connection between one neuron with another neuron is nothing but synaptic. The junction is said to be synaptic junction, and we call in computer language we call it as link. So we have dendrites, cell body, synaptic, and axon. Each and every functions of each and every element are, we have a neuron is connected to another neuron. As I was telling, you have 10 power 15 connections are there. That is said to be synapses. And a neuron receives input from other neurons. Inputs are combined, and once input exceeds a critical level, it takes from dendrites and it is given to the nucleus, and you have some critical level. If it exceeds the threshold level, the neuron discharges a spike, that is an electrical pulses that travels from the body down to axon to the next neurons. So it means that it takes information from dendrites. So there are so many dendrites. So many neurons are there. So many inputs have been taken. So a huge data has been taken and it is given to the nucleus. When you have a threshold level, so that threshold level will be telling you how it happens. So when that threshold level exceeds, that information is discharged. So it is discharged in terms of a spike or an electrical pulses that travels from a body down to axon to the next neuron. So it means that the information is processed from one neuron to another neuron and it till reaches to our brain. Say from our body, if you have some itchings or if you have some problems in your hand or in your leg, so that from there the neurons get the information. Each and every neuron get transmitted. So after that this is transmitted till to our brain. So this is how our neuron works. This is how our information is processed, and information is carried from one part to another part through neurons. So the axon ending almost touches the dendrites or a cell body of the next neuron. So it means that it automatically gives to the next dendrites. So that is nothing but the input to the next neuron. This transmission of an electrical signal from one neuron to the next neuron is affected by neurotransmitter, and the neurotransmitter is nothing but the in between one axon, that is the output, and the next input dendrites, which are connected in a junction called synapses. As we already know that a link, which is nothing but the synapses, there a neurotransmission happens. How it happens, it is nothing but a chemicals which are released from the first neuron, and which also bind to the second one. From that it's a chemical, it's a pulse which moves from one part to the another part. This is how the information has been parallelly processed. So as I was telling, in general, I was telling about each and everything. I'm going to tell about the entire thing. So the soma or body cell, which is nothing but a large round central body in which almost all the logical functions of the neurons are realized. It means that the processing happens. Then axon is nothing but the output. As was discussed before, it is a nerve fiber attached to the soma. That is, from the soma you have a fiber attached. From that, the final output, after getting the threshold level, after processing, it is given to the axon, from which it is given to the next neuron. Dendrites, it's nothing but it's an input. It accepts all the information from the previous neurons. And synapses is nothing but it's a junction where it's a contact of one neuron to the another neuron, where the transmission happens from one to another. So this is the information about biological neuron. This is how information has been passed from one neuron to another neuron. I think the same thing I have given here. The first is one neuron, the second one is another neuron. In between this, you have a axon. The central part is nothing but the cell body or nucleus. Yeah. Coming to our work, we used to say it is an artificial neural networks. So far we discussed about BNN, how a brain works, or how our biological neural network works. Coming to the next part, how our artificial neural network works. So artificial neural network is nothing but a hardware implementation or a computer program which strives to simulate the information processing capabilities of its biological exemplar. We are going to take biological function as such, and our hardware is going to work like our human brain. So this is said to be artificial neural network. So it is nothing but a technique for solving problems by constructing a software that works like our brain. So this is what I said. We are going to take the information about our brain, how our brain works. So the same principle is implemented in a software such that such that software works like our human brain. Yes. So artificial neural network is an information processing system that has some certain characteristics. We are going to which mimic biological neural network. So we are going to have some assumptions here. So assumptions are nothing but the information processing occurs at many simple elements called neurons. This is very similar to our biological neural network. We are taking all the informations through neurons. So the same thing we are going to assume here. So the information processing occurs at many simple element called neurons, and each neurons are connected to the other neuron through synapses there. Here, the signals are passed between neurons over connection links. Understand? There it is synapses, here it is connection link. There it is neuron, here also we are calling it as neurons. Each connection link has an associative weight, which in a typical neural network multiplies the signal that gets transmitted. So associated weight here is nothing but in each and every link, every synapses, you have some informations in our human brain. Very similarly, each and every link has a weight. Right. So coming to the next point, each neuron applies an activation function, usually a nonlinear, to its net input to determine its output signal. Here it's nothing but all the I said all the information has been taken from input, that is dendroids, and it is given to the soma. When it reaches the threshold level, that the information is transmitted to the next neuron. So this is how our biological neural network works. Very similarly, based on the activation function, all the all the input from the neurons has been taken through connection links. It is multiplied and it is given in and it is there in our system. When it reaches the activation function, it is given to the next output signal. So this you can correlate our BNN with ANN. ANN has neurons, BNN has neurons. ANN has connection links, BNN has synapses. ANN as associative weights, BNN as information. ANN as activation function, BNN as a threshold value where it gives to the next level. So any neural network can be characterized. So the characteristics of neural networks can be done by three ways. One, by its architecture. When you know the architecture, you'll understand the characters of an ANN. Or when you know the learning algorithm, and when you know its activation function, then the entire characteristics of ANN can be very easily determined. So how a characteristics of an artificial neural networks can be analyzed by, it can be analyzed by three way. One is by knowing its architecture, second by knowing its learning algorithm, third by knowing its activation function. So first we are going to now see the various architectures. So before going to this slide, I wanted to show bit by bit process so that the other slides can be easily understandable. So we have like input starting from X1 to Xm. We have so many inputs, so many neurons are there. Yes.
Sir, the critical value, is it the associated weight or is it the product of the input and associated weight?
No, that's the information. It's a
Okay.
product. It's a product. That's the
Okay.
information. See, you can directly correlate as information, which has to be multiplied.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so we have so many inputs starting from X1 to Xm. Am I right? So you can see X1 to Xm. All this input has to be processed. So in general, if it doesn't have any weights, we'll be writing as processing is nothing but combination of all the inputs. That is X1 plus X2 plus Xm, etc. Till Xm, and that can be given as output Y. But what we also have the weights. So we are adding that weight here. So input has a connection link which has weights. Say for example, W1 as weight is a weight which is associated with X1. W2 is the weight which is associated with X2. Wm is a weight associated with Xm. So what we have to do, we have to take the products of X1, the input and the weight. So our processing will be having summation X1 W1 plus X2 W2 till Xm Wm. So that can be given as an output Y. Right. So Y now is nothing but summation I is equal to 1 to M Xi Wi. But we have one more thing. Can anyone tell me what is the other thing which we have to add now? See, my
Maybe a
question is
bias.
not bias. See, I was telling you, you have input. Each and every input has weight, and that has to be processed. Here, process in the sense multiplication and addition of the entire inputs with weight. After then, in a biological neural network, what happens? After processing, it is given to the next level as an output. When it gives to the next level,
It's sent to an activation function.
yes, that is what. So what we have is one more thing is called activation function, which is nothing but when you are summing up everything, you are processing everything. Then after processing, if it reaches to the threshold level, that is what we are telling here as y of k. That is the output is nothing but function of the processing input. So after getting the activation function, after reaching the threshold value, after making sure that the threshold value has been, after making sure that the entire signal app processing signal reaches to the threshold value, then the output has to be given. So this is how our entire ANN works. You have X1 to XM with each and everything has a weights of W1 to WM. You are processing it, processing in the sense you are going to summate X1 W1 plus etc. till XM WM. After summating, after processing it, you are going to give the activation function. Based on the threshold value, it is then given as an output to the next neuron. So this is what I said before. You have you have so many inputs X1 to XM. You have each and every input has weights. You are going to summate, and after going to put it in the transfer function. Based on the transfer function, the output is transmitted to the next neuron. So this is a single neuron, and that is another neuron. So you can mimic this single neuron with our biological neural networks. I'm going to even show the correlation between ANN and BNN afterwards. So this is how our ANN works. This is the model of neuron. Whatever I said, the same thing has been written here. X1 to XM, you have each and every weights. Everything gets multiplied and it is get processed. After getting a threshold value, it gives us an output to the next level. Here W1 to Wn are weights. Let us not discuss about W0 now. I'll discuss about W0 in the next class on seeing the characteristics. This is just an architecture. Let us take this as W0. As one of the student was mentioning about bias, W0 is nothing but bias. Let us keep as such here. Bias here in the sense without any input, it is just a weight alone. Yes. Why this artificial neural networks? Why can't we go for another some other technique? Why we have so many control systems techniques are there? So many other programming techniques are there. What is the need of going for an artificial neural network? It is just in terms of two point of view we can say the implementation of artificial neural network is good compared to other things. One is a technical viewpoint. See, some problems like if you have so much of information, that is massive information, you cannot go with some normal techniques. So that's the reason. If it is a pattern recognition, if it is a future prediction, or if you have massive parallel information, then no other go. We have to go with artificial neural networks. This is one thing. Second thing, apart from massive parallel information, even if you have 50% of the input, it means that it is not that accurate. I was telling you in the first day the difference between hard computing and soft computing. Hard computing needs a perfect input. Accuracy and precision should be perfect, whereas soft computing, the input is not necessary to be perfect. See, as I was telling, if you see something, it's not necessary that all the information has to reach your brain. Even there are some information which may not reach your brain, but still your brain can recognize. So this is how our ANN even is going to work. Even if the input is not full, partial input can be recognized with our human brain techniques. Then in terms of biological viewpoint, it replicates and simulates our component of our brain. So thereby we can understand what is there in our human inside. So artificial neural network is nothing but it's a replication of biological neural network, so that you can understand how our brain works. Most probably we may not be knowing the real situation or real working condition of our BNN. So by through artificial neural network, we can even understand our biological working conditions. So these are the two different reasons which are by which one can be interested in building a artificial neural network. As I was telling before, we'll be discussing the difference. We can correlate ANN with BNN. So this slide shows you the difference between ANN and VNN as an architecture. You can see you have a dendroid, you have a cell body or a soma, you have an axon for biological neural networks. Dendrites here is nothing but X1, X0 to Xn. And each and every information in the dendrites is nothing but W0 to Wn. Soma here is nothing but the processing element where all the inputs are combined, multiplied, and after getting the activation function, that is the threshold level, it is given to the output. Very similarly, the Soma here after reaches the threshold level, it is given to the next neuron through axon with the junction called synaptic junction. So this is how you can pictorial representation between ANN with BNN. Yes, then we should also understand the difference between a computer with neural network, that is ANN versus BNN. First is, let me tell you about the neural networks. Neural network is inductive reasoning. Computer is a deductive reasoning. What do you mean by deductive reasoning? See, we apply known rules to input data and produce an output. In a C or in any languages, in any of the other algorithms, we have some set of rules and regulations. We'll give the input and we will get the output. This is how our deductive reasoning works. Whereas coming to neural network, we are giving input and output data. We construct the rules. Rules here is not known to us. By using trial and error process by technique, we will be constructing the rules. We don't know the we don't have any set of rules and regulations. So this is the first difference. Next thing is computation is centralized, synchronous, and serial in computer, whereas computation, that is the processing, is not a centralized, it's a collective, and it is asynchronous, and it is parallel processing. Then the memory is a local location addressable. Here it is a content addressable. In computer, we will be we will be storing storing our information in that location. Whereas in our brain, we used to put it as a content. So I saw that fellow on that day. On that day, he was wearing this dress. He was coming with another friend. All this information is stored. It's not just that information alone. That is the distributed, all the short term, and it is all content based memory, content based information has been stored. So this is the difference here. Then we have not fault tolerant, and here it's a fault tolerant, redundancy, and sharing of responsibilities. See, as it is tolerant, as this is a not tolerant, you can say that it is not an exact neural network. It's not a perfect one, whereas computers are perfect. And computers are static. For static information alone, we can do it, whereas neural networks, we can do it for dynamic information. Dynamic, it changes based on our information, whereas computers, it is static based on the set of rules and regulations. It works, so it is static. And computer is applicable if well-defined rules with precise input. I think that during the difference between hard and soft computing itself, I was telling you, it is accurate and precise, whereas it is in the sense the input is accurate and precise. It needs accurate and precise inputs, whereas neural network, it doesn't need any accurate and precise. Even a partial input can be given to our human brain. It automatically recognizes. That is the prediction technique. So that's the reason I was telling you, it can be used in the places where a partial information is also given. So it means you can, if pattern recognition, or in the places where we have future prediction. So based on the inputs, you are going to predict the future. So that kind of places can be used. We can use artificial neural network can be used in those places. Yes. So this is the difference. And the another comparison here, in the sense, it's based on the specification. The speed of the brain is in terms of few milliseconds. It is in terms of nanoseconds, and it has 10 power 11 neurons, and it is dependent on the designer. Storage capacity, there is no loss of memory. You can even ask a question, how can you say no loss of memory? It is all based on our nature and fate. But still, in general, there is no loss of memory, whereas ANN has loss of memory. And you have fault tolerance, there is no fault tolerance, and it is simpler. BNN is bit complicated. Yeah, we have discussed so many things. Then we should also discuss where this ANN can be used. So these are the places where we can use ANN. Though we have DSP, digital signal processing, it can be used in signal processing also. We have signal. There are many techniques in DSP, but still we can use artificial neural networks. And very similarly, there are many technique in control systems starting from PPA, PID, PLC, DCS, but still ANN shows its best output compared with other control techniques, and it can be used in automatic machines. For that, for example, I can say Siemens successfully used neural network for process automation in basic industries. That is for rolling mill control, over more than 100 neural networks to do this job in a day basis, and it can be used in robotics. It can be used in pattern recognition. An example for pattern recognition is Apple. It's a current version of Apple's Newton, who uses neural network. That's different, but Apple also uses pattern recognition. And many thing in medicines. See, medicine, biomedical instrumentation, we can use in different content in biomedical applications. Here I was giving you only medical informatics, that is medical records based on the case information, because say for example in CMC, in a day thousand of people are coming and coming for some diseases. So that information can be taken, it can be processed. So based on that, we can come to some prediction. So this is just for a medical record I have given. Apart from medical record, there are many places where ANN can be used in biomedical field. Then speech production. That, for example, I can tell you net talk. If you just Google with the word net talk, it gives you everything. Speech production, speech recognition. I think you might be knowing a robo which can give you, which switches on the television or which switches on the washing machine based on our voice. So that kind of places we can use for ANN. And for vision, that is for face recognition, edge detections, all these things you can use. Even apart from our engineering point, you can also use this in our business. That is, say for example, if you wanted to have predict the share market, you can go with ANN. Financial applications, that's what stock market prediction, time series analysis, all this can be done using ANN. Then apart from all these things, you can also use it for games. You might be knowing backgammon and chess. In all these in all these games, ANN has been used. So this is how this is today's above class. We were discussing how ANN works, the history of ANN. Yeah, the history of ANN, how ANN works, how BNN works, what is the difference between ANN and BNN, and where this can be applied. So in the next class, we'll be discussing, and even models of neurons we have discussed. The characteristics of neuron, as I was telling, we will be knowing characteristics based on three things. One, based on its architecture, based on its transfer function. Yeah. So today we discussed about the architecture. In the next class, we'll be discussing about the topology and activation function. Sorry. Sorry. So with this, I'll end up today's class, and today's attendees are 59. Out of 64, today's attendance is 59. I'm downloading the list, and this will be uploaded in your BTOP. And I can also tell you one more thing. I advise all the students to join in the WhatsApp group, which is there in our uh, teams. I think if you can see the teams in general, you have one of your friend, Mr. Manoj, has created this WhatsApp group. You can just click this to join in our neural network WhatsApp group, so that the informations are shared to you within a minute. Okay. So with this, I will today I will end up my session. If there is any questions, you can ask. I'll stop recording. Yeah.